Fuck yeah.
Don't want to be rolling no recap? I'm kidding. I know you don't pay attention.
I don't
Oh,
even
it
I don't
looks
pay
like he's
attention
doing it.
for the 4 hours we play Dungeons and Dragons.
He's like, my brain's been off this entire time.
Oh, I'm gonna have to have camera off. I set up a new office in my closet, my cloffice, and the lighting is behind me until I get lights in tomorrow. So you can't see my face with the camera on.
You just don't want to go for the Dr. Claw aesthetic. All right, so I guess what did happen last time? Well, last time was a pretty eventful episode. We did through journaling, journeying north. We did eventually come across the group of Delwyn who were holding Nadia and her retinue, who turned out to be this sort of fairly powerful-looking druid who has convinced a lot of his fellow Demwyn that, sort of capturing their leadership and forcing the new group to leave would be the best course for the tribes. Solarin was able to, through a pretty heated debate between the two of them, we were able to sort of undermine his argument enough that his followers started sort of abandoning him, and before he could do anything crazy, we managed to convince him to release Nadia, and without violence, and hopefully some good would come from that. He was skeptical, but we shall see. And then we headed back to Voltsnu, not encountering really too much, and were able to return the governor back to the city. And when we returned, we were heralded by the throngs of people now seeing us as heroes, and hopefully giving them, good feelings about sort of interracial relations moving forward. And then, we got
At least
a
in
nice
porn.
Yeah. I mean, that's where you start. That's where you start winning hearts and minds.
Exactly.
And then, we got some platinum. She gave us some pins honoring us sort of as sort of informal not ambassadors, I guess advisors to the city, which should give us a little leeway in the city. And then I think she just sort of recommended that we, still help the dwarves with their exploration of the ore. And she might have had another thing for us, but I forget at the moment.
I definitely missed a session.
You were there.
No, I wasn't there when we brought back the mayor. I think the last thing I was part of was when we came across those guys.
You were definitely there for talking them down, I think.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah, so you should have been there for when we got back to town.
I think maybe my
I
headset
stepped
died or
away.
something.
Yeah, you were having
yeah.
trouble with that.
That's right.
Well, we're heroes. Yay.
Huzzah! And you're representatives of Nada now.
Aren't we cool?
From there, though, still in town, were there any other matters that you wanted to see to?
I think we had to.
No.
I think we had to sort of decide what we're doing next.
I know the governor said that they were going to celebrate our deeds, if I remember correctly.
In sense. There wasn't going to be like a feast.
Oh,
That was it. The nice clapping for us in the square.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Bravo! Well done! Well done! Jolly good. We're really proud of you.
Should be good for
Alright,
at least
well.
one free drink.
Good Dungeons and
Exactly.
Dragons, and see you guys later.
But mainly, I believe the dwarves were still looking for us to look into that ore some more. And be a good way to unlock some of its power, maybe.
Probably a good idea. Plus, that ore's pretty valuable, right? And we're pretty broke, so.
I mean, we're a little richer now than we were.
More.
Well, because Nadia gave us, what, like 100 platinum each or something?
Yeah, pretty
shit.
decent amount.
100
yeah.
platinum?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're stacked with coin.
Barkeep, where is your whorehouse?
bruh.
I want the most bendy of whores.
You want
I re-
the snake people?
Ooh.
I want to. Actually, now that you mention it, yeah. I could go for some snake people. I also require green leaf.
Your finest hobbit weed.
I want the shit the hobbits smoke. Did anybody put a deposit on anything that we needed to pay for? Now we're all like paid up.
Nope.
Now we're
All
rich.
paid up.
Okay.
yep. Because I think the last time we were in Voltsnu was we didn't
It's
stay
been a minute.
too long. We stopped by long enough to find out about the kidnapping and get a drink at the bar, but I don't think we really did much else.
You cashed
than-
in some previous errands. I think you cashed in for the ore
Yep,
last
yep.
time you were here.
Yep, we dropped
Yeah.
off the ore. We got paid. We paid our debts on it.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, especially because, yeah, she said she wanted to handle the negotiation sort of without us. Sort of the ore is the only thing we sort of got on the table, unless we want to mess with the magic users any.
Yeah, you have been solicited by both magic clubs.
Oh,
Mhm.
well, we're the popular kids right now.
Yeah, so we could pop by either one of them.
As
You pick which
you
one. and we'll
are
go.
as you are deliberating, you hear a high-pitched, reverberating horn blowing from the northeast.
Oh, what now?
As it sounds something like there's clear confusion from everyone in the vicinity as they look around trying to figure what the source of this is, and you hear one of them say, "That's not one of our signals."
Are we just in the middle of the street right now?
Around the plaza, yes.
I don't know, is it
Maybe we
something
can
native
check it
to
out.
this region?
Is it lunchtime?
All
Ooh.
of the locals here are looking around in confusion as well. A few of them
Yeah.
scratch the back of their heads, and you see a few reach for miscellaneous weapons.
There's something new.
Yeah, we should probably go check it out.
Guess we had started
that
heading
sounds-
towards.
Sounds a lot more fun
Obviously.
than going to see the magic club.
Just be like, nah, they'll be fine. Which one of these magic houses do we want to pledge?
Yeah, exactly. They're such fucking nerds.
Moving towards the disturbance.
After a minute or so of waiting, you see a procession coming down the street in your direction towards the plaza.
Kind of procession are we talking about? Like a lynch mob, or like a bunch of people
Mm.
celebrating a New Orleans funeral, or what are we?
A
talking-
military march.
Now we're fucked.
Of people from Voltsnu or outsiders?
Bunch of
These
elves.
appear to be outsiders, as you can see. Each of them, to a fault, is quite short, the size of halflings.
Are
Each
these the
is
gnomes?
in elaborate armor with all sorts of mechanical devices that they have in tow. Wagons with horses, but there's gears on the wagons. You see long metal sticks that don't look like spears being wielded by a number of them. All in all, there are 80 of them.
They're adorable.
Who gave these children these sticks?
The preschool must have gotten out early.
It is a lot of tech for those small.
How do their little hands even function it? Like, are there buttons? Is it like?
Well, I
voice
mean, if you have to
activated?
get between places, I could see how it could be useful.
Little hands, yeah. They could probably build some really intricate machines.
I don't believe. Yeah, I probably haven't seen a gnome before, so I don't have probably any idea what this is.
Yeah, they certainly seem like halflings.
Or halflings, yeah.
Harkin, I dare you to throw one. I dare you to throw
Halflings
one.
you have seen.
Oh, okay.
There was a halfling thief with you when you first started.
Yep.
Oh,
Do
Uh,
halflings get upset
duh.
if you think they're midgets?
They really do.
Like they don't?
And boy, you should not refer to it as dwarfism.
Do they look down on midgets? And I, if you know what I mean, like are
They call them posers and wannabes.
Oh, okay.
Ouch.
It's like
Those-
we were born in the shortness. You
Yeah.
merely adapted to it.
You're just a reject. Don't be trying to
Yes.
co-op our association.
That's cultural appropriation.
Exactly.
I guess we start following them to the square.
Yes.
As they draw closer to you, you can see now that they have sharper features, more elven despite their diminutive state. Each
Somebody-
one with a set jaw. And as they approach to you, they pause and they look at you and they say, "In the name of our queen, Emerali, we instruct you to step aside as we advance to your people's main square, so that we may speak with your leader and better."
Wow.
I'm sorry, little guy. Were you talking to me?
I'm sure I was not.
You may still find her in the square. She was there but shortly ago.
Excellent. And he pulls out a small chip of blue sapphire and holds it out to you. For your trouble.
Oh, thank you. That was pretty nice.
Did he just give you for directions?
Yes. Sometimes it pays to be the gracious host. And they've
What are you
got
talking
to
about,
have
man?
more.
I've never seen one of those guys. I've never seen a little guy like that.
I've seen some similar, but these ones seem much different than the others I've seen.
They're so
I've
cute.
never seen people. They're absolutely adorable. I mean, look at those
Grammatically,
battle wagons.
everything that you said was incorrect. You have not seen anything like us, I am quite certain.
That's what I said. I've never seen anything like you guys before.
Yes,
Yeah, I
I
don't-
was speaking to the one who said that they had.
I don't think I've met anyone so snobby before. And Hardy's gonna walk off.
You should see Hogwarts.
Now
Well,
then,
no,
will you
none
step
like you.
aside?
No,
Yes.
I will take you to the leader myself.
Oh,
And I'm clearly lost. I don't know where anybody is. Where is he? Claudius?
I think back
We would
towards the
appreciate
square.
it if you did not take us to your leader.
well,
well-
do you know where you're going?
Something tells me I can manage the creativity and problem solving to navigate this matter. After all, you've done it.
Little piece of advice: give the snake people a little.
I'm
shit
sorry,
to
did you
drop
say
on.
little piece? Was that a crack at us?
Oh my god! I would never. You guys are the best. Look at you.
How many people have now stopped to like watch this interaction between us and clearly
There's
envoys?
probably about 40 humans and a few dwarves, one or two
You-
halflings.
Do any of them see offended by the newcomers' slights at their intelligence?
More quizzical than offended.
Okay. Can I pull Chuck out of the way because I don't want him to cause a international incident? Or
Yeah,
at least
sure.
attempt to?
I do apologize for his more brushicon. We are, as you'd say, ambassadors or advisors to the leader, and I think us escorting you to her might be helpful.
I did not see any credentials.
I show the
You didn't
pin,
ask
or
either.
This is our our badge of
The-
office, sir.
The gnome that was speaking looks to another and says, "Running a rather crude and disorganized association. Please take note for future interactions if necessary."
Well, in times of need, the crude and efficient solution sometimes is useful. But I'm sure this will be a nice.
Are you
topic for
often
you
in
to
need
discuss.
then? Are you frequently finding yourselves at the end of your rope, starving without resources due to ill preparation and being surprised by the most predictable of outcomes?
How do you know?
Then call 1-800 Plan Ahead.
Just making use of that which is around us. But come, I'm sure the governor awaits.
Governor, you do not have royalty here?
In any form, the head dignitary is the royalty of the district.
Yes, but governors are often elected. Quite
Yeah.
often prey to the whimsy and caprice of the people in that moment. Again, they balk at strong leadership, reliant on ones who can pander to their every wish.
Yeah, such a shame that we just don't give in to autocratic rule.
That is only a problem if your rulers have a tendency to be corrupt. A primitive problem in of itself. With elected officials, they will perpetually be seeking your approval and therefore do what you wish rather than trusting their own superior intelligence and wisdom in the situation and seeing to your better long-term standing, which means you are prone to corruption and prefer pandering to productive solutions.
Yes, but
Uh,
one mad king will destroy your empire. Whereas
Arkin
ours
will
will
ask-
Good
just set
thing
it
we
off
don't
for a
have
few
any mad
years.
ones.
So
Yet.
are you a royal or are you just a appointed noble?
I
How
am an
much will
appointed
you-
noble on behalf of Queen Emerali.
Okay, so she's the head honcho. You're just a bootlicker who's trying to save face here.
Bootlicker, was that a crack at us being short and so close to the height of your boots?
If
No, just your disposition.
it is a phrase, my friend.
Are all of your phrases bent towards making fun of those who are shorter than you?
No, some of them for people taller.
And wider. And bolder.
Listen, I don't discriminate just on stature alone.
You discriminate on multiple issues then.
Oh, when the situation demands it.
How often
Guys-
do you find the situation demanding such prejudice?
It depends on if the guys are trying to kill us to be done with. I mean, you seem pretty
Tends to be a
prejudiced
person.
for people who you think are dumber than you. So,
I'm definitely dumber than him, though.
but I am not the one you are here to trade words with, and while we may have some
I was wondering how long it would take for you to notice that.
standing in this town, perhaps it is best if the more diplomatically inclined speak with you before me and my friends here bore you.
Your words have a most excellent rudimentary wisdom to them.
And if Solarn and is it Chuck? Is that who's here today? Solarn,
Yeah.
Chuck, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not okay. Yeah, it's just the three of us. If it's fine with those two, I guess we could start helping them reach the square, even if that's not what they see it as.
I mean, we'll tag along, see what if we can get in on whatever this conversation is. Seems
How
interesting.
have you come to your position of stature when it comes to dealing with your governor? Is that the
We-
term that poor people are using now?
We have aided this town in many ways, but that is not for us to discuss with foreigners. If the governor wishes to disclose that information, she may.
Well, I suppose before we become at risk of appearing rude, I should accept your offer to escort us down.
We would be much obliged. I'm sorry, I haven't gotten a title for you yet.
For myself, High Magistrate Dilmar.
Then we shall escort you to your meeting place, High Magistrate, and we look forward to the political and diplomatic relations that our two settlements can form today and in the coming time.
Good heavens, your governor allows you to sit in on such sensitive diplomatic meetings?
Oh, I meant merely to see the outcome of your talks, not so much as if we are allowed to be within them.
Good then. Very well, you may lead us on, and produces a little emerald chip and hands it to you.
What the fuck is this guy talking
Aw.
about? I understood like 3 words out of his mouth.
I guess
to
I'll
see
accept
that
the emerald
ultra.
chip. And how long does it take us to get them to the square?
It's like 30 meters away.
Okay. Listen, I didn't know how close we were based on the map. But...
You're really close.
Yeah, but it seems ill-advised that we wouldn't have any escort or an armed group coming through, whether they're here on invitation or not.
Resources may be drawn to.
So as we approach the square, I assume they didn't see us from the square talking to these guys.
No.
Okay. Is there already a delegation waiting to meet?
There is not. You're not sure if that was an oversight or if they didn't know that these gnomes were coming, but there's no one there to meet them currently.
Hi Magistrate. Who did your government contact when arranging this talk between yourselves and our town's leadership?
We did not.
Judging by the fact that he was surprised by the title governor, that should have been a clue, I suppose.
I guess
We have not been in conversation with other races in the last 179 years.
Ah, very, very much indeed. I assume at this point we've probably garnered the attention of like the town guard. Do I see any?
You do. You see 3 of them slightly scratching their heads at the dialogue taking place here.
And I'm gonna wave them over.
One of them kind of cluelessly comes over and says, yes?
Harkin's just gonna pull him aside from
Are these your pets or something you found in the wild?
Harkin is gonna like kind of like subtly try to be like, hey, stop talking for a second.
Huh?
And he'll just like pull him over to the side, leaving Chuck and Solarin to deal with the entourage, and whisper to him, it's like, hey, these people claim that they are here on a diplomatic like cause with the leadership, but they didn't know that we were run by a governor, and I think they've made a lot of assumptions about how they are going to be received. They believe
Okay, but what are they?
They actually told us, yeah, have they?
Just
But
their
their
titles.
suspicions.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some weird breed of halfling. He'll be
Didn't know they
whispering.
could get more weird.
Yeah. But perhaps you or one of your comrades should inform the governor about their intentions to meet her in the town square, so she is not quite caught aback when they're just waiting there, and that they're very troublesome diplomatically.
Wouldn't know about such things, but I'll notify Lady Nada.
Yeah. Tell her if she has anyone who can cure a headache, she'll need them afterwards.
That kind of a day, huh?
It seems so. But we'll try to entertain them until the governor and her advisors can make their way here. Just so she's not caught off guard, the one leading is High Magistrate Dilmer. Is that the correct pronunciation for that?
Yeah.
Representing their queen.
Oh, fancy. All right, I'll let him know.
And Harkin will
Can't imagine she'll be pleased having just come back from that ordeal to manage new troublesome diplomatic issues.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you, and
Yeah.
I guess we'll be in the town square making sure there's no issues.
You don't want to come sit in on the meeting? I'm
mean,
sure Lady Nada would appreciate the help.
Me and my companions would definitely love to sit in, but it seems right now that these newcomers believe that the meeting will take place in the town square. So until we have a meeting place for them, unless you think it's wise to just bring them to Lady Nada to begin with.
I mean, if it's gonna happen in the town square, you might as well stay close, right?
I guess we can. We'll hang out with them until the governor can be here, and then if she allows it, we will remain for the talks. Tell her that is our stance on the matter.
He shrugs and goes jogging off after Nada, leaving you to deal with the gnomes.
So Harkin will go back. I assume, did Solarin and Chuck just keep going towards the town square?
Yeah, we're probably in it, and we're sort of just gathered and waiting.
How are this entourage looking? Are they looking impatient or?
Nope.
I assume now surprised that no one's there to greet them.
They seem to actually be rather patient and composed, looking around quizzically, but not with any signs of irritation.
It appears the governor was in the middle of some things, but she will be here shortly.
It is no matter. We came unannounced. We would have found it curious if she was immediately available to us. A sign of an inactive leader. Even if she is just a
True.
governor.
Yes, indeed. So what other settlements have you been in contact with? I mean, you can't. If you can't tell me, that's perfectly fine. But have you had the chance of the pleasure of meeting the orcs yet?
Pleasuring? Oh,
No,
do you think us some kind of prostitute?
no, that was a slip of tongue. I meant the pleasure of meeting them.
We have declined that offer at the moment. Orcs and gnomes have a long history of complicated relations, having for many years preferred to do anything to enslave us.
Well, perhaps in this new land, it'll be a chance of new bonds and friendships. But that choice is up to you and your people. What about
I
the
dare say
Dwellmen?
it has something to do with the orcs.
Oh, yes, indeed. They are a unique bunch with a very colorful history.
This lot, though, does seem to take great honor in the fact that they have split from the traditional ideas of their kin. These might not be the orcs that you are used to.
Are you trying to say they're not the orcs we're looking for?
Well, you said you declined the invitation, so you weren't looking for them. So I wanted
Oh,
to
we have not received an invitation from them.
Oh,
Did
okay.
you wait? But did you receive an invitation from Volstu?
We did not.
Okay.
We were obviously the ones to instigate. We just have no interest in instigating with orcs.
That's understandable. They have no drinks or fun at all in their settlement.
The gnome
Is
looks
quite
past you
sad.
over to Sykes.
He's part of a Make-A-Wish program. He's got a real thing for feet.
Their eyes grow wide as they look at each other, and you can see a few of them in the back whispering. He says, "You've unlocked the ability to make wishes?"
What?
My gods, their magic is far ahead of what we expected.
How did they?
There has been quite amount of channeling here.
Confused.
Sorry, what were you saying, Harkin?
Oh, he's gonna be look very confused at these statements. Like, how did he even interpret that?
Because you said make a wish.
Oh,
There it is.
As they look almost terrified, they collect themselves and they say, the speaker, High Magistrate, says, "Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It might be some 2-bit wish like the ones that genies give you."
Sir, this city, you have obviously come to these cities because there is some sort of alliance or thing you might need from another species. Isolating your potential allies at this point is probably not a great idea.
Isolating them in what way? What have I done to isolate?
I think
snide remarks about our Jin friend. There are
You are
those in the
friends with
city.
Jin?
Yes.
yeah, and juice.
What?
Laid back
it's
with my mind on our money and our money's on our mind.
it's just a local joke. I'm sorry. I should understand that that the humor may not cross cultural boundaries.
But this land is when open to many wonders that we have seen from lots of these races coming together.
Is that so?
I think
Well-
the coalition of these species is quite nice.
Tell me, what is the name of the orcish settlement that we've seen?
It's literally just orc, right?
No,
That's
of the settlement.
organization.
The
Oh.
organization is orc, but they're asking what the name of the city is.
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's in my
No,
notes.
yeah, you don't.
Durkheim.
Oh, it is Durkheim, right?
It is, yes. Gary, Indiana is where all the trouble is.
I accidentally opened up so many notepads. That's not what I needed. I needed one note. And all of
I
it.
kept wanting to say
has-
Blindenstone, but that's not here.
That is not here. And that's the gnomes, not the orcs.
Yeah.
Blingdenstone. Your
It was
potential
really
was never
nice.
fully used.
Yeah.
It had the potential to be really nice. It was not inherently very nice.
It was a cool exit, though. I mean, we got a lot of people out.
It was the promised land without the beachfronts.
Mhm. But hopefully.
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
Well, as we are waiting to speak with your lordship, perhaps you could inform us as to some of the history that has transpired here. I must admit we are rather curious.
So this, from I understand, because I'm fairly new myself, is the third attempt of settling this new and wondrous lands. I do not know much. I don't know if you've faced any troubles settling here. But from what I understand, the previous efforts were ill-equipped for the new lands, and this has been the greatest settlement so far, with a great deal of planning and resource investment.
You've had trouble with past settlements here. This is our first attempt.
Are you not aware of the previous settlements?
We know that there were. We did not realize that they were failed settlements. We thought you had simply relocated to better ground.
What made you believe that? Like,
The
Did you-
difficulty in believing that you could struggle so much that you would actually lose your settlements.
but you haven't run
Yes,
into
they
any
are
other-
very bad at it. Sorry.
Yeah, we lost contact with them entirely. We weren't sure if they had moved or if they were wiped out by the
It's true, this-
local wildlife.
Their primitiveness never ceases to amaze.
This land does not do well for new dwellers. Only sort of haughtier people have stood the test of time here. But we're
What
willing
is
to
it that
branch
you
out.
found to be the difficulty then? I'm curious what obstacle has been insurmountable for you.
Well, we haven't faced what the other settlements have faced yet, so I don't. It is
Wait.
confusing to me as to why the others failed.
So you are saying that you yourselves are also near to be doomed.
I don't know
I've
about
been here
that.
for hundreds of years. I'll be
Did-
fine.
Does Solar doesn't has, or at least he hasn't mentioned to us. But Solar, you don't know what happened to the other settlements, do you?
No. We kept our
I
breath.
can't believe
about
it's
the
taken this long to
settlements.
ask.
I mean, to be fair, like
This is,
I respect his privacy.
This settlement is the first that I've made contact with the outsiders. We stayed far as way as we can to not interact with the first settlements. I do not know what befell them. They seem to be doing fine, and then suddenly mass hysteria and death.
And I only arrived from my own plane around the time that the settlement had started setting down roots, and don't know much about the history other than what I've been told.
Perhaps this contact was premature. They seem to be further behind than we had expected.
I wouldn't quite say that.
Do you
made
have
great
anything to
advancement.
compare it to?
I feel like we were doing great compared to. Actually, I don't know.
Pretty sure this
Compared
has
to
lasted
yours?
longer.
There's 3 known settlements currently here on this coast, if I'm not mistaken. Our own, the Orcish one, and yours.
How
We
would
have
you
not.
compare our settlement to yours?
There's a moment's silence, and then the High Magistrate says, compared to what we have observed of the despicable orcs, you are quite behind them.
In what way?
They are more collected and unified in their goals and objectives. They are more determined to join together and make their advancements, more organized and disciplined in their expeditions and work, and just on a whole seem to actually be rather unified, if still orcs.
Hmm. Perhaps that is right, but such single-mindedness can be a detriment.
Good heavens, they actually think single-mindedness is a detriment also.
I mean, I'm sure many of the people who moved here from the continent sought adventure and fame,
You
and
came here for adventure?
I would imagine a lot of these people did.
Our
Otherwise,
people were prosecuted, hunted, abused, and enslaved. We come here for survival. You
I,
and I are not the same.
I mean, I came here through a portal, uh, so I
From
have
the
nothing.
hells.
Yes, as he said, and I know not much of this continent of which they had spoke or the history of it. Were your kind long prosecuted? I know mine are from where I've come from.
Hmm.
The literal hells. His people
I,
for
d-
hundreds of years.
I did not know of your persecution then. You have my condolences, and I assure you, our understanding and empathy. We have gone through much the same trials and turmoils as yourselves.
And I have heard that there is a building of a tiefling centered settlement that's been going on under oh, what did they use to describe him? It wasn't a paragon, right?
Uh,
He's not quite their leader, but he's like a spiritual leader. Oh
Like a
god.
prophet.
Yeah. He is
More like Allah than Jesus. Muhammad than Jesus.
he is uniting the scattered people of the hells
Truthfully,
together.
where
And
are they migrating to for this new settlement? I would like to extend some courtesy to them.
did they ever give us a general direction? I know it's inland,
Uh,
right?
they did, but that's in a notebook I lost. It was northernish from where we
more
were.
north of Durgheim.
Uh, North of the Orcish settlement, Durkheim. I
Hmm.
believe the attempting to set down roots there, find a suitable place to grow. And I pray that you don't judge them too harshly, as a lot of us are new to this place with
Not
No
at all.
resources brought.
Though I fear this Voltsnu will become fourth ranking in settlements once they have found their footing.
Perhaps, but only time will tell.
That's it. Dare to dream. However, as a small gesture from your suffering, might I offer you this? And the High Magistrate will reach to one of the other gnomes and take his metal rod and hand it to you. A token from one persecuted peoples to another.
Arjun will accept it with grace. It is very fine indeed. Does he notice anything about it as he takes it?
You can give me an intelligence check.
Boop. Intelligence. There we are. I can't find. Oh, there it is. Don't know if I did a check or a saving throw.
Either way. You can see some mechanisms to it. There is a mechanism near one end of it that somewhat resembles the trigger on a crossbow.
Oh.
You will need this as well for prolonged use, as the magistrate grabs a leather bag and holds it out to you.
Arjun will accept and peek inside.
It is full of a gray-black powder and small metal balls.
Oh. Is there... Quick question. Is there a hole on one end?
There is.
Can I... do I have to make another check on the bag?
No.
Okay. Do I have enough to surmise that... what the powder is?
He explains briefly because you wouldn't have any context.
Oh, this is... very, unique indeed. I
Quite
take it...
potent and an excellent way to ensure that you are never enslaved again.
Oh. Thank you. It
Who
seems
was it that you said enslaved you? You said you came from the hells.
Oh, it is the demons. Demons, right? Or
Devils.
Devils. The devils of the hells. And he'll pull out, I think Harkin has one of the journals, right? From that dead group we found.
Yes.
In fact, I have here an account from another group that had fled about the struggle they faced there and the struggle they faced coming to this new and unknown land.
Listening, the High Magistrate gives a nod and then turns and says something to one of his companions and gives you a smaller bag and holds it up and says, "These are ammunition that will serve you better if you ever deal with devils again."
Oh, thank you very much. The tieflings will be pleased by such friendly actions. We subjugated peoples must stand together. Am I right?
To a reasonable degree.
Very
It
much
is
so.
not unheard of that a subjugated people might then go on to subjugate another.
Which would be...
Just because you have suffered does not make you invulnerable to committing the same crime.
Very much indeed. And from that statement, does it seem like a genuine statement of a disgust for wanting to subjugate another people?
You could give me an insight check on that. It seemed more like a light musing than an open disgust.
Okay,
You
so
know, just
like,
kind of like thinking out loud a little bit. It wasn't like a deep principle of his morality, more of just a thought that occurred to him.
yeah, I wasn't sure if this was like their
Yeah.
stance on it, or if this was like they're
No.
still open to it if it comes to it.
Yeah, probably somewhere in between those. Nothing definitive, but you couldn't weigh his statement as a indictment against it in general.
Ah, okay. I assume. How long have we been in the town square then?
About 20 minutes.
About 20
And
minutes?
over the gnome's shoulder, you can see Lady Nada and a few others hurrying over towards you quite quickly.
It seems the governor has arrived. Magistrate or high magistrate. Pardon me. It's you being so new. I have forgotten the correct term, but I hope I did not offend.
Not at all. I would not expect creatures of yourself to learn our customs and ways so quickly.
Wow, he is
Just
going
whispers over to
between
Chuck.
being,
It's like, we're going to kill these guys if Nada gives us the go-ahead.
I don't even understand what anybody's been saying, so you're gonna have to fill me in.
Harkin, what are you saying?
uh uh he's just gonna greet the governor with like a deep respectful bow. As
Never had so much appreciation for the governor's patience.
yeah, she's such a nice person, and you know she can be kidnapped and still want to deal with the Dwellman. She can get through this talk.
She arrives slightly out of breath. You can tell that she was flustered, but composed herself pretty quickly right before she got here. As she gives a nod and says, "Thank you for handling our most esteemed diplomatic guests while I was away. Would you be so kind as to remain for these talks?"
Me, I would, and he'll look at Chuck and Solaren. He's like, I believe, if it interests them, they would remain as well, but that's
Absolutely.
Of course, it is your own decision, but I would value it. And she gives a nod and gives the pleasantries and formalities to the High Magistrate, along with some niceties, and then leans over and says, "Quickly, what can you tell me about their disposition?"
they think that we're very backwards and that the orcs are probably the second most competent settlement here. Their
She
outlook
kind
on
of grimaces and says, "Well, I wish I could disagree with them, but sometimes I wonder."
Just don't mention anything about height feet.
She looks aghast and says, "I would never.
Yeah, who
That would be in
possibly
terrible taste."
who would possibly do that? But no, they seem well intentioned, if not a bit snobby.
Well, all things being equal, that's about as good as I could ask for. Lady Nada, forgive me, I do not know. Should I refer to yourself as lady or governor? Governor will do, thank you. Governor Nada, I extend greetings from Our Lady Queen Emerali. She wishes to make our presence formally known to yourselves, as we have determined that your presence is an unavoidable conclusion at this point. It seems if things are to continue as they are, our boundaries and borders will begin to come into conflict with each other within the next 30 years, something that we deem to be inadvisable. Therefore, Our Lady did decide it would be in everyone's best interest for ourselves to at least open up diplomatic channels and avoid unnecessary unpleasantries going forwards. I appreciate this forthcomingness, and I applaud you for your intelligence and far-ranging scouting to be able to come to these conclusions. As I'm sure you know, we have not discovered your presence as of yet, and therefore you are well ahead of us in this matter. Yes, you are correct. After a long pause of leaving that statement hanging there, therefore, my queen has instructed us to relay to you our gratitude if you would cease any further advancement in the directions of north, west, or south. There's a moment's confusion from Governor Nada, and
Rather
she says,
restrictive.
"But to the east is the sea." "Indeed. We have deemed it acceptable if you wish to expand in that direction."
I guess the northern part
Hmm.
is along the shore, so they could expand along the coast.
She ruled out the High Magistrate ruled out the north.
Like, so like up here
Yeah,
they went
not to
allow
expand at
eastward.
all. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
they're saying don't go north, west, or south. And Nada is saying the sea's to the east, so that doesn't leave any options.
Ah. Well, this Harkins is trying to keep these thoughts to himself. He's going to think that this is very demanding. That they think that they're going to just like encircle the entire settlement.
This seems a bit unreasonable, especially for neither who are native to this land to dictate who expands where.
We do not wish to dictate where you expand. We simply wish to convey where you should not expand. You have assurances from our queen that we have no wish to encroach upon your existing territory. It's only that we do not wish to become bumping up against your borders moving forwards. If you immediately cease expansion, there should be no cause for concern about conflicting boundaries moving forwards.
Hi, Magistrate. Do your people continue to plan to expand your borders towards us?
In the general vicinity, but not all the way to your edges. We assure you we will not surround you, if that is your concern.
Then perhaps there can be some compromise on at least one of those directions for expansion other than just east.
How do you mean?
Well, for any settlement to thrive and grow, it does need to be able to expand to some extent. And while the waters here are rich in fish and salt, uh, does not make for great living space.
You are expressing dissatisfaction with this arrangement?
Oh, merely that, given this is, uh, you're an envoy from your queen, and given how diplomatic relations can be a two-way street, it seems odd that there could be no discussion on potential expansion in any other direction, given that you knew nothing about the settlement before.
Oh, we have known of the settlement. We just did not deem it worthwhile to engage in conversation with the settlement.
Ah. How does the governor seem to be taking the expansion restrictions?
She has a good poker face. She's seeming kind and patiently listening, but not giving anything away.
But as me and my compatriots are not quite able to make diplomatic decisions, and there's others far more qualified for that. We only want to elicit the reasoning behind why such a restrictive expansion agreement, when it seems like your settlement isn't restricted in any way.
Is
Well,
it
they're
that you
doing
are
a tacit
requiring
threat.
a concession from us?
Well, I'm sure the governor here doesn't want to cause friction between the two peoples. But it's also in her prerogative to grow the settlement and ensure its well-being, and being only allowed to expand into the sea seems counterintuitive to that.
What sort of concession would you request?
I can make no concession, but if the governor has any input, it would be for her and her city planners to discuss. At least one more direction to expand in would be preferred if we are truly worried about bumping borders.
Also seems you wish to lay claim to individualistic ownership of these resources of this land. Have you approached Tirith Nor with similar requests?
We are currently assessing their disposition and qualifications before we engage in such an offer with them.
From what I know, High Magistrate, they are a very proud people, and they're still nomadic, correct, Lauren?
Yes. And they will not take kindly to those putting restrictions on their paths.
And I'm sure you would respect the natives of this land, seeing as this was their home first.
Is that a fact?
I mean, they've been here longer than you, have they not?
I did not realize that was a relevant scale of ownership. Uh, um, at this moment, Lady Nada decides to step in and says, perhaps if we were able to come to some sort of an agreement with regard to trade and exchange of resources, this deal could be met most receptively. That stops the gnomes in their tracks for a moment as they deliberate and they say, does that mean you would be amenable to these requested limitations in exchange for trade? That certainly would go quite some ways in improving our disposition on the matter. Very well. I shall relay that counteroffer to Queen Emeraldi. This does sound an almost agreeable compromise. Now then, if there's nothing else, I dare say we can proceed on. We will return to our settlement and relay the message that you have extended.
Do be safe in the woods, High Magistrate.
Yeah. What he said.
I pray for your safe travels back home, and that this negotiations between our two settlements go fruitfully and both parties are content with the outcome.
Might I ask, without seeming too presumptuous, are any amongst yourselves casters of magic, adept?
I can cast a spell here and there.
Bit
But
of a
one or
show
two
of some
only?
force.
Oh, no, quite a few.
Oh, in the town there's multiple organizations.
I'm not solely a spellcaster, but a man of the arts. And the ladies.
Charming. Am I to take it then, by your implication, that there are indeed a number of you that are limited to just one orientation?
How so?
You actually only prefer one gender?
I mean, some people do.
Savagery continues to amaze.
It's like
Depends
it's
on
like
what
Chuck
they
here.
choose.
Chuck here loves everyone, except for months, apparently.
That is the only criteria.
Well, it is good to hear that at least some of you are open-minded in some way or other.
I'll put a snake person in my butt.
I applaud your open-mindedness.
It's more like an open butthole, but okay.
Your uncouthness does not supersede your inclination towards more modern thinking.
Sure.
Now then, as a gesture of goodwill on these matters and the appreciation for your openness to the terms, the gnome reaches into a bag and withdraws a piece of parchment that is folded up into a square. For your edification and education, a little something that we have discovered in our experimentation in these lands.
This is much appreciated, High Magistrate. This will definitely help us in improving our standing in your eyes as far as our capabilities. I hope.
Oh, gods, that was not the purpose of the gift. Sure.
Does it seem like he's saying that like he thinks that we can never like improve?
At least not by this meager standard.
Yeah. Seems to be the general tone.
I don't think he thinks we can improve at all. But I guess we can graciously accept this that stuff as well. What is on the paper?
It appears to be a spell of some device, though it is one unfamiliar to you. With some time and study, you might be able to learn it, though, sufficiently to cast it.
Okay.
From your initial examination, though, it appears to be a 6th level spell.
Oh goodness.
Shiny.
Now then, we will be off. Also, take care with that firearm. I would hate to see you hurt yourselves.
Oh, that would be a shame indeed. But I imagine it will prove quite useful in exploring this land and protecting ourselves from these dastardly beasts.
Indeed.
Safe travels to you, Magistrate.
And also with you.
Oh,
As
man.
the gnome detachment all sets off, silently about facing and marching the other way.
What an asshole, right?
I'm just gonna assume he was an asshole. I didn't understand anything he was talking about with his fancy words and his little fancy mouth.
I assume
They
at this
did have
point,
an impressive amount of gall, Nada said.
Mhm.
do you intend to accept their terms of complete expansion halting, other than towards the sea?
My initial inclination was most certainly not, but it did occur to me that if we could open up avenues of trade, we could make a short moratorium on expansion for some time while we improve relations with them. If we were able to do that successfully, we should be able to find ourselves renegotiating the matter in the near future. Trade is an excellent avenue of starting up warm relationships
Yes,
from frosty beginnings.
Does seem
very much
wise.
indeed. They are, for
And
lack of a better
certainly
word.
more advisable than outright refusing them and only further frosting the relationship.
Yes.
Mhm.
We can add revisions at a later date.
Yeah, and
I pray
perhaps
my
you'll.
people will be half as diplomatic.
I pray for such things as well, truth be told.
Have you decided when you will attempt to talk with Sheriff Thnor again, Governor?
Master Slan, I would be curious for your thoughts on the matter. My initial thought would be to leave some time, as it seems clear that Kir Lotar is not in the strongest of positions when handling his own people. Would it be wise to let the matter sit for a while and see what Kir Lotar says on the matter? Or would I earn valuable points if I were to demonstrate confidence in his leadership and re-engage conversation immediately?
I believe confidence may be the better approach. The dissenters have been dissuaded for now, but as more conversation and more anger tends to build, as more intrusions into our land happen from all fronts, they will become more and more agitated, and it may be easier to draw more to their anti-immigration cause.
I take your point. Very well, I shall send a messenger. I'd rather not start with myself, all things being what they are. And
Probably fair.
see and see what comes of the matter. I thank you for your counsel on this.
I'll do my best to sweeten relations.
Now, what is this that they've given to you, Master Harkin?
It appears to be some sort of projectile weapon.
Operating on magic?
No. In fact, and he'll pull out like the powder and the metal balls. It appears that this powder.
Most intriguing, then.
I am willing to provide a sample of this powder if they can try to produce more.
Not necessary. Let's not attempt to reverse engineer just yet, but do report to me on its effectiveness.
Very much indeed.
As Harkin, if you are the one who wants to utilize this, it is a musket, which is dexterity based.
I think he would. He doesn't have a lot of like heavy hits, and if this can get him out of the fight a bit more, it'd be nice. If no one else has any objections or wants it.
I will
think the
point out
biggest
you
fight you
will
get out
have
with
a
Sykes-
0 modifier on it, though.
Probably Sykes is the only one who'd fight you over it.
Yeah, so I guess for now, Harkin will hold on to it, and then if Sykes wants it, we can
Okay.
swap.
Just because you're obviously not proficient in it yet, and because you have no dex, it's literally just what the D20 says.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice to use once.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then see how it is.
No, absolutely. It's up to you guys. Just pointing out that it might actually end up sucking a little bit.
But it would be funny.
It would be amazing.
Well, it seems you have your hands busy here. Anything we can do to help ease your plate a little bit?
Well, now that you mention it, there is a caravan of raucous dwarves that live some distance away. They are technically still under the constraints of Voltsnu, though they have recently declared themselves as a liberated front.
Oh.
We
Political
have
dissidents,
some...
great.
Yes, we have some need of the work that they're doing out there, but even more than that, I'm slightly terrified as what they might get up to with regard to relations with the Delmuin, as they have no love lost for Delmuins. And they've expressed some eagerness to do all sorts of anatomically impossible things to them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And while I would not want to put constraints under them, as far as anyone else would be concerned, they are still a part of Voltsnu, and therefore could jeopardize this rather tenuous relationship with ourselves.
It is fair. Do you know of any connection they have to the village or lifeline they cannot live without that we can hold against them?
She kind of chuckles and says, ironically, they're still dependent on us for a number of foodstuffs. As I understand it, a caravan is on its way towards them from sympathetic dwarves that live here. I have no desire for you to stop this caravan, but perhaps you could travel with them and use that as a point of contact.
Might be worth it.
I apologize repeatedly putting you in such a position, but it would be most meaningful to me if you could assist on this matter.
Oh, no problem at all, Governor. What is your desired outcome for this?
She looks uncertain for a second and says, I doubt you could succeed in talking them out of their militant stance against the Delmuin. If you could, I would be grateful for that. Barring that, I assume the most reasonable compromise would get them to realize that they need to remain a part of the Delmuin since they are reliant on our resources, and therefore come to bear under our rule.
Dissonant tribes. A huge bother.
Yeah.
Glad to see we're not the only ones who suffer with that.
Well, it's the problem of freedom.
She frowns a little bit and says, I would not equate one rowdy clan of 20 dwarves to the actions that your people have demonstrated in recent weeks.
Yet.
Yet, if I've not miscounted, your peoples have in fact defied your own leader while remaining a part of it, and kidnapped myself and many others and slain a few. Should we be keeping score on these situations?
And these people have dissuaded the rules of their leaders, establishing their military stance against the downwind, killing multiple scouts of our people.
Have they just, or are you projecting right now?
That's what you're telling us to go solve.
To stop from escalating. So far as I know, they've not taken action against you yet.
How central
Exactly.
is the caravan
Yeah.
to Voltsnow?
Of the dwarves?
Yes.
Moderately. As it stands, they are the best makers of armor, and they do ship some down here. I would be appreciative of them remaining a part of Voltsnow. However, should the worst come to it, I would not be so disheartened if they were simply not a factor anymore. Though please demonstrate discretion before taking such an extreme action. Such matters should only be considered if they are threatening your safetyhood.
Very well.
In other words, kill him if you must. What I will not stand for is them being allowed to incite violence against the Nelwyn. Things are as tenuous as they could possibly be right now.
You see Solarin biting his lower lip so much not to call this.
To call what?
Just call her. She are saying we're worse, but she's wanting us to completely eliminate this tribe if they don't bend to her will on this certain thing. So he's biting his lip not to bring up that point.
I think she's just thinking of Voltsnow as a whole, which is weird because, like, I'm sure the Dwarven would accept that these are people, like, from their cultural perspective, that these dwarves are exercising their freedom and it doesn't really impact Voltsnow as a whole, or shouldn't, based on their
Oh, I know.
philosophy
I'm
of
just saying in the
free will.
past conversation with like comparing
Yeah.
things and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm sure she would actually appreciate if Kiri Lotar had given such instructions to his own people to kill these Delwyn dissenters if things got too far.
Which he kind of
So I don't think that's hypocritical. Very much more mildly. It was more like, you have your own beef with them. I'm not going to get involved.
Yeah, no, but even in essence, taking a stand. Like, neither of us are on moral high grounds, but that was sort of the point that Solarin was drawing to.
She's trying to be more proactive in the stances. Her
Gotcha,
position.
yeah.
Also stopping it before the kidnapping happens.
Yeah. No, I get, yeah.
It's like, Kiri Lotar's protests are great and all, but the kidnapping's already happened. He was a little late to the preempting party.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely a lack of responsibility and liability taken.
She gives you instructions and indicates that this outpost is about 1 day's travel to the northwest.
Is that the same-ish direction towards, like, the mine?
It's about a
Is it?
third of a day's travel from the mine. So similar line, but not identical.
Okay.
Yeah, there might be some side carts going somewhere.
Well, Governor, if we're able to solve this in a helpful manner, perhaps we can hold a festival, and I can regale this town with performance on these exploits to help bolster unity.
and gold.
That would be most appreciative to myself. That is all I want for the people here. Not to commit crimes against other peoples either. Let us do what we can to ensure that we are the people that we wish the Delwyn would be.
Aw, come on, we're
I'm sure
trying.
Solarna
You really didn't need the end part there. Me standing here being one of your saviors talking down speaks to that, does it not?
I mean, it's still a good sentiment because she's saying we're not better. She's saying let's aim to be better. But yes, it does have a bit of a bite to the statement.
Oh yeah, and that's sort of my just response to it. It's like, we're proving it, and we're trying.
Maybe try harder next time.
It just breaks down. I'm trying my best.
I am not an ambassador!
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Why is everybody so mean?
Why do I have to take responsibility for all my people?
No, after saying that, he'll take the response and just nod his head slightly and move off.
As she departs, she says, and I am grateful for your interactions with the gnomes. I appreciate you being a safe first face in these diplomatic relations.
Yeah, perhaps in the future we can have a more informal get together than us constantly in these types of situations.
Yes, sometime when you are not stopping the end of the world here and I am not being kidnapped. That would be lovely.
I mean, I would risk you how many times you got kidnapped.
This would be my second time.
Oh, well, if you get kidnapped again, I'll come for you.
5th times gets a free sub, from what I hear.
That was a free performance. Don't be silly. I can't make sandwiches.
At that, Nada does head off. If there is anything else you wish to do before going and dealing with these militant dwarves.
I guess we should talk to the ones here in town that are providing the supplies.
I guess, or
Perhaps.
we could talk to the person either we delivered the ore to or the blacksmith that we bought a lot of magical stuff off of. Maybe we'll have better relations.
Yeah, I think the ore guy has a lot, his hands in a lot of things. Perhaps he has a better insight onto what's happening with this splinter group.
Yeah, might be able to give us some insights, some
Perhaps.
family leverage or something.
Perhaps we can find a way to handle this without bloodshed, if possible.
And to be clear, Nada is not asking you to kill him, just saying if it comes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to that end, we must have information.
Yeah.
Because us just going there being like, stop what you're doing, probably won't work.
Bad dwarves. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That only works on the elves.
In that case, if we want to take a brief bio break, then we can resume with you speaking to the dwarves.
All right.
Or them speaking down to us.
All right, be back in a bit.
Let's ride. Twisters is as good as a summer movie gets.
We are professional tornado wranglers.
It's a thrilling crowd pleaser.
watch all of the Acolyte?
I haven't yet. I'm just in preparation for Acolyte. I'm going back and finishing Asuka because I made it to the halfway point and then forgot to pick it up when the
Ahsoka?
season started again. Yeah. The Ahsoka.
The name
series.
is Ahsoka.
Yeah, it's around there.
Careful now. Take offense to that.
No, I finished her. I think I might have one episode left. I haven't seen General Thrawn going down
Thrawn.
yet. No, I haven't watched The Acolyte yet.
It's really some shocking. I sat through the whole thing just so that I could judge it fairly, and wowza.
Yeah, heard a lot of mixed stuff. Well, what part of that timeline does it happen in?
100 years before 100 BBY.
Okay.
So it's the High Republic. Before just about all the big guys that you're familiar with, there's a couple of people that you would still recognize in it, but not many. Definitely when the Jedi, when they're like at the height of their political power. And boy, does she like to hit you over the head with that, convincing you the Jedi were fucked up, corrupt, and yeah, doesn't lack subtlety on the preachy points, and really could do better at conveying other concepts that I don't understand at all.
So, yeah, take the one interesting thing to focus on. Bureaucracy.
Our favorite aspect of it.
Yeah, we
And
need
yet-
more Star Wars bureaucrat stories.
Yes, because everyone really loved all the insights to the Trade Federation.
That's what we tune in for.
Yes, that was definitely the best part of Phantom Menace. Also, thank you for making it clear that Jedi suck and are terrible people.
yeah.
We also love that message.
I mean, you didn't really fucking get that from like the first 3 movies from the prequels. The Jedi are kind of the bad guys.
I mean, they're, in a sense, I think they're too much on like it to only be one way.
Yes, and I am fine with that message. What I didn't like was that they didn't get the grasp of like gently conveying that, and didn't have a lot of faith in us to see that, and so they went. They're not just like a little bit arrogant and misguided and corrupt. They are terrible people, and let me show you all the thousands of things that they do wrong and horrible. It's like, wow. So thank you for ruining them as a concept, not just some of them.
It's like, oh,
Yeah,
It's like,
so
and if
it's all
Obi-Wan was
just
still
bullshit
alive,
all the
he
way
would be
down.
terrible also, and Yoda definitely was also corrupt.
Great.
Yes.
So there's no hope for any nobody. Good.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the whole point of Star Wars is that, you know, the entire galaxy is fucked. Because you have 2 sides that are equally as shitty for different reasons. fighting
Somehow,
against each
the
other.
galaxy is still corrupt.
Yeah, they like
Just
mentioned
humans
it. I
all
can't
the
Oh,
way.
remember
Dameron is just like, for fuck's sake, it's still
Yeah.
happening.
If
Yeah.
Qui-Gon didn't die, it would have been so much different.
There was I can't remember which one it was, Mandalorian or Boba Fett, but there was like one line in one of those series where some farmer like literally like just looked at him and was like, "We're just trying to live, man. We're just trying to live," and like it was like ruined the entire franchise for me because
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit! Like all these, the dozen movies that have come out are all about either the fucking Empire or the Rebellion. Nobody thinks about the people just getting squashed in the meat grinder in between. Like, how
Yeah.
many fucking people lived on Alderaan or like all these fucking different planets that were just blown up for no reason whatsoever?
Everyone on Alderin's
Yeah.
just like,
Alderaan.
oh, great. So we were killed just to prove a point.
Yeah,
we weren't
just
even
fucking-
like
exactly.
an
That's like the whole
enemy.
point. It's like they're both shitty for like both for different reasons, and they're just normal people trying to fucking moisture farm in the middle, and they're getting crushed.
That's just the eventual storyline throughout the entire thing. It's just like,
Right.
oh, all sides are bad. Humans just suck. Great.
Oh, but Luke Skywalker's fucking awesome. You can use the Force. Good for you, fuckers. Stop destroying the galaxy.
Yeah, everyone is like, wait, so you're telling me that there's some asshole called George Lucas who keeps doing this to us for like no reason?
Basically.
God.
Like, it's fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah, I still love Star Wars, but
Oh yeah.
wow. Maybe we should not have people who hate Star Wars write things.
I mean, I say we just don't have women direct them anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't act like it's not bad every time, dude. I can't act like it just doesn't bother me.
Bryce Dallas Howard did some good writing.
She's okay. She's okay. I like her
I'm-
as an actress too. She's good. She's good and she's a great director. She's a great writer. She's a great actress. Great. But I'm sick and tired of acting. Like I got a daughter, man. I'm a feminist to the nth degree. But like, can we just all agree that every time a woman fucking directs something, besides the lady that directed fucking what was that one thing? The fucking bomb defusal movie. I can't remember her name.
Bomb
She did
Defusal
Point
movie?
Break. What's her name? Catherine Bigelow. Catherine Bigelow.
Oh.
Like, she's the exception. Okay, I've never watched a movie or anything that a woman's directed that I'm like, this is great. Just her, and she was married to James Cameron, so a little bit of James Cameron rubbed off on her.
I drawing a blank on her name, but George
No
Lucas's wife,
She's an editor,
absolutely,
right?
She made A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, because she's an editor. She didn't
Yeah,
direct either one of those fucking movies.
She
She's an
she
editor.
kind of did.
Dude, I
She
got
was like,
news for you.
"Hey, honey, maybe you should
An
go back."
editor- An editor has
Redo
basically
this.
almost more say in how a movie comes out than the director does.
Yeah, there's a reason A New Hope won the Oscar for best editing.
Yeah, no joke. She's legit too, but she's an editor. We're not talking, Wait, what?
Greta Gerwig was good. What's up?
Nothing. I just got a bill from CGC. The comic book grading company.
Oh, yeah.
They fucking. I'm supposed to have a $580 credit on my account because they fucked up some comic of mine.
They
And then
fucked it up?
Well, they didn't fuck it up. What they did was they had people sign it who didn't work on the comic.
Oh my god. What then yeah, they did fuck it up.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, I sent it in. It was like it's like a $50 X-Men comic, right? And I sent it in for this big Wolverine 50th anniversary type situation. And they had like two people who didn't even work on it fucking sign it too. And then they
Oh,
hit
that
me
is
up being like,
bad.
"Hey, we've got great news. We got you 2 extra autographs on your comic, and we didn't even charge you for it." Like, they try to spin it like it was a good thing. And I was like, "Are you out your goddamn fucking mind? You just ruined my comic, and now you're coming at me like you helped me somehow?" And I had this conversation with their customer service staff, like one of the guys who works with the signature stuff. He's like not even customer service. He's like one of the people who run the signature thing. And like he's like, so what do you want to do? I was like, file a fucking. You guys insured it, right? You asked me how much to insure it for, and he's like, yeah, it looks like you insured it for $400. And I was like, you're damn right I did. So let's start an insurance claim.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, he like started offering me stuff, and I was like, all right, this is what I'll be willing to do. You can give me credit for CGC. You don't even have to file an insurance claim. You can just keep the comic, give me like, the $400 credit, and refund me for the $150 that I paid to have it signed in the first place, and then refund me the shipping cost of what it cost me to ship it to you and everything, and then you don't have to file your insurance claim for it. So they were like, okay, cool. And so they're supposed to. I called and they said, oh, you have this credit on your account of $580 or whatever. And I've kind of been counting on that for Comic-Con. So now they just sent me a thing being like, hey, you have a balance for $92 for this submission.
Oh,
And
no.
we attempted to
Like,
charge.
bitch,
So I'm
no,
going
no.
to call them and be like, you better check again.
Yeah, I assume you have a paper trail of like the credit and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
Well,
And
well,
they
I mean,
hopefully-
I even called their customer service agents last week to just be like, hey, I want you to check right now and see if there's a credit on my account for how much. And they told me, and they're like, yeah, it's on your account. I said, good, because I'm going Comic-Con next week, and I'm going to drop off a shitload of comics to burn off that credit that you get. It costs like $50 to grade a comic. Well, a signed comic, it costs about $50 to grade. So it's like 10. That's like 10 signed comics they're essentially giving me for free.
Will do.
Yeah. So they've been fucking up though. Like reports have been coming out from that signing that they fucked up a lot of people's books, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets shit canned over it. There's a lot of problems.
That is
going on.
kind of insane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my favorite part was the gall of them to be like, "Hey, good news!" Like I have the email. I'll read it to you sometime. I gotta take my shit and find it. But they were like, "Great news! We've got 2 extra people to sign your comic." And I was like, "Who?" And they told me. I was like, "That's not great news. Those people did not ruin my comic. Do you want to sign it? Let's add another one. Like, fuck it. Like, what is wrong with them?"
Let's just get whoever's on the fucking floor, shall we?
Mm-hmm. That's basically how it went.
I would understand if, because I assume these were just like random. I say random, but just people who were involved with that specific comic book or brand.
No, it was like a Wolverine 50th anniversary signing. So they had everybody who worked on like the original Wolverine 1 limited edition. So it was like Chris Claremont and Frank Miller and Roy Thomas and Joe Rubinstein and Tom Warzalowski and Glynis Marsh. So there are all these people that like worked on that era of Marvel Comics. And then, but the thing is, the comic that I had sent in, which was just a random X-Men comic, I asked for 3 out of like the 6 people they had there to sign it because those 3 people worked on this one issue of the comic. And they just apparently got in the wrong stack and they had other people sign. I'm like, don't they know they didn't work on the comic? Like, didn't they look at the comic being like, I didn't do this? Like, they just fucking signed it anyway?
Listen, they got paid to sign them. I don't think they care.
Not to look at it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
They're
I
like,
was so
wherever
pissed
this
off.
weirdo wants me to sign this, okay.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking, now it'll be one of a kind.
Yeah, well, they also tried to pull that one. He was like, "Oh, it's really unique. I don't think you'll find this issue with those people."
Yes.
They didn't fucking work on it.
It's
You
like a
also
different
won't
coin.
find a Stan Lee signed Batman issue.
Yeah,
I mean, if you did, though, that'd be wild.
actually, I bet you can find one of those.
Oh,
I
have-
bet you can find one of those.
I had a situation like that because like I was trying to set up some smart home features here, and my girlfriend's account is registered in Canada, and so they won't let you share because it's like, oh, we see you're in 2 different countries, you can't share Google Home.
Ugh.
So
yeah.
annoying. And so I got on with Google Home and I'm like, this is the stupidest feature and it has to be a reoccurring problem. How can this be possible? He's like, no problem. If you just get their phone, I can help walk you through it. And he's guiding me through the steps and he's telling me how to change her
Location.
And I'm like, hold on. Won't this change her Google Play? And he's like, well, that's not my area of expertise. I'm really about Google Home. but after we do it, if it doesn't work, we can just switch it back. And I was like,
And the house will work.
don't you know you can only change your location once a year?
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yes. So I'm like, if I do this and it does fuck up the phone, we can't change it for 12 months. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that either.
Listen,
Sounds like
he's
consumer
only there to
level
work
problem.
on Google Home. He's
Right?
like,
Yeah.
He's
like, I know all my
not
shit.
my fucking problem, dude.
He's like, listen, they hired me for Google Home, not Google Play.
Yeah. He's like, but what you're telling me to do is going to affect Google Play, and it's going to ruin it.
I don't talk to those guys. They pick on me. They steal my lunch money. I don't talk to fucking the guys over at Play.
Yeah, fuck
Bunch of
that.
assholes.
He's like, yeah, I tried asking them that once, and they're like, go fucking back to your corner, you reject, and help people with Google Home.
Why don't you help him set up the thermostats, you fucking nerd? Ah.
Yeah, just great service there.
Yeah, they-
PayPal takes the cake, though. There is no worse service than
Yeah.
PayPal.
They're
They literally
obnoxious.
handed that customer service over to fucking Indian customer service. They do not give a fuck. They're just
Oh, it is so much worse than just that.
Oh yeah, they'll allege stuff just so they can seize your account. Cause for a lot of small businesses, they can't fight against it, and then they'll lose that money that's been seized.
Yep. And not only did they do that, I was on the phone with them when they did it,
That's fucking
trying to resolve it, and they're talking me through that, and they're like, okay, well, if we do this, then we'll be able to help. And then I look, I'm like, I just got an email that you actually didn't help, but just froze my account permanently.
He's like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah, sorry.
And he's like, oh, give me a second, I'll look into that. Put me on hold, and then immediately hung up.
you got fucking butt fucked, bro.
Because they can only freeze like the transactions that were pending, correct? They can't actually. take
No,
your-
They can freeze
they
everything.
can.
Well, you gotta transfer
What-
it out immediately if you leave anything in there.
You
they can
can't
seize it.
transfer it. They can freeze it from being transferred out.
No, I know, but
So, like,
that's why I
but-
try to get out as quick as possible before they flag the account.
Yeah. But it doesn't actually affect like your actual bank account, correct? It was just the
The money in PayPal.
yeah, which is unfortunate because that's still money.
It was a
But-
lot of money.
Yeah, 'cause I think normally you have like to seize funds like that. Don't you need like a court order?
No, so what happens is they just freeze it. They don't seize it, they freeze it and don't let you do anything with it. After 12 months, they can do whatever they want with it if it hasn't been released by then. So what they do is they change the onus on you getting a court order to free it before the 12 months expire.
Were you able to get that done, or was it just
No, so the only thing that you still can do when it's frozen is issue refunds.
okay? So is that what you ended up doing?
I issued a shit ton of refunds and ate like $180 in refund fees to send all of the money back and try to get it sent somewhere else.
That is fucking.
Oh
crazy.
yeah, 'Cause
Yeah.
that's when you moved to Stripe, right?
Yes.
Which is actually a pretty decent one.
It is a good one, and I'm glad I found it. But yeah, no, PayPal was like stringing me along, froze the account with me on the phone, and then said, you can't do anything with the money. The only thing I could do was do refunds.
Yeah,
But I
that's
had to pay
weird.
the refund fee for all of them.
That is weird to me. That like the fact that you could refund it, but you can't like take the payment. Did they even
Yep.
say why you were frozen?
They tried to make up suspicious reports, and then they kept asking for more proof, which I kept providing. And then they said, we appreciate you provided all this, but we still aren't able to overcome like the suspicious behavior, so we're just giving up and freezing it. Why they can refund it, I only assume it's kind of a loophole because they can't like
Actually
stop.
sees it.
Yeah,
There's some consumer protection
is-
shit they can't get around.
yeah,
As
exactly.
the seller, you agree to their terms, so you're under contract
Yeah.
with them, but not from the
Yeah.
people that you accepted payment
Pay.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, so if you refund it, it just goes back to the original person, and they have they wouldn't have any jurisdiction over that person.
Exactly.
It's like if a business issues refunds, it's allowed to do so.
But yeah, that was the bullshit there. And then they actually blocked my calls after that. It was
Yay,
weird.
PayPal.
And after doing that, I started doing research, and it's a very common practice they do with small businesses.
Oh yeah, the hemp industry got fucked by PayPal. They did
Which is
that
weird,
to a
'cause,
lot of
like-
the people I know.
Like, because hemp's not even hemp's been a thing for a while. At least
It is, but especially PayPal finds ways, like you can try to poke holes into it. Like that's
Yep.
why you never, or hemp is industry especially. You don't want to do any invoicing through PayPal because they'll flag your shit immediately, and they'll seize it, and they'll do the same thing. They'll be like, oh, well, you have to prove that this funds aren't being used for illegal products, and you have to go through all the steps of proving that it isn't before they release
Which
it.
is really hard to do. So
Yeah.
any field where they see that they can make it next to impossible, they'll do it, and then block you off from the funds and assume that you're not going to be able to get them released within a year,
Yeah.
or that it'll
Yeah.
be too expensive.
I would
They'll
assume
win.
though,
They'll win that bet 8 out of 10 times, and that's
Yeah,
enough to
exactly.
do a profit. Yeah.
I would assume though that if it's like an ongoing legal process, that they would be barred from that 12-month deadline anyways.
What do you mean?
Like if it's in the middle of
Oh.
like the tort system, I don't think they can. If you can get an injunction at least, they can't just
Getting an injunction's not
Yeah.
easy, because they'll just say that they had probable cause to suspend it for suspicious behavior. The onus
Yeah.
is
And
going to be on you.
And at the end of the day, it's going to cost you at least $5,000 to get an injunction filed
Yeah.
into the right area. And if it's less than 5,000, then people are just going to cut their losses and just be like, all right, fuck you.
And I'm willing to bet that they target small businesses around that money so that it
For
is in
that
the vicinity of not worth doing it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because if they did that to a big business,
Oh, it would
The-
never happen.
PayPal wouldn't exist anymore. PayPal will be
Yeah.
so far in debt that
Yep.
that their accounts get frozen.
Oh, yeah, it's an ongoing thing.
It's insane that that's the case. They're what's the trusted review site?
Better Business Bureau.
There's the online version for it.
Yeah, and it generally doesn't it give a rating to the business?
The BBB website,
so
and
there's-
then there's Glassdoor, which is employees.
Glassdoor's.
There's
career
Trustpilot
experience.
and Product Review. Both of them have PayPal at a 1.3 out of 5 stars.
Sounds about right.
For context, Stripe is like a 4.3.
Yeah, they don't ask a lot of questions, which is nice.
They seem to ask about the right amount. But yeah, wild that that's able to happen. Anyways, roamed around in a bunch of topics. You're making your way over to the dwarves that live within Volsnu.
Yep. Over to Helmington.
As you get to the same vendor that had dealt with you with the ore, you can see the clerk behind the counter with his little quartz spectacles look up and go, By chance, do you have more ore at hand?
Not at the moment, but we do have a quest out to some of your kin out over here on outside of town.
Oh?
It seems the governor has tasked us to maybe help orient them to a little less of an aggressive stance towards the Delwyn.
I believe I know of what you speak.
They seem to be craftsmen beyond repute, but their actions threaten all of us here in the towns.
That is a subject for some debate. What have you been instructed to do?
To try to reason with them. And we're hoping that you might lend us maybe a little bit of insight. I'm sure you don't want to see anything awful happen to the town.
Of course not. That would be dreadful.
We just wish to find a way to peacefully bring them back into the fold. Do you know any of them out there?
I have a second cousin amongst them.
Has he written at all? Given any insight to what they are looking for out there?
They have expressed displeasure in how a number of people handle things. The Lady Nada being one of them.
And do you believe this has gone to a point where they may openly betray her? I know to
I
speak about,
believe
but
they do not consider themselves a part of Voltsnu anymore. Therefore, I doubt they would see it as a betrayal.
Do you know what spurred this separation?
I believe they expressed strong feelings with regards to the Delmwyn that was not well received by the leadership here in Voltsnu.
it is
Did,
understandable. We are hard to like, especially on first
I
impression.
do not share the severity of the stance that they do. Please do not take it to be that way. I have respect enough for your kin and their craft.
Was this group like affected particularly hard by the development?
He kind of licks his lips and he says, there were some incursions that started with misunderstandings, escalated to a few dead, if my memory serves.
That is not surprising. Seldom
Who-
do my people think before acting.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but yes.
I'm sure defense was paramount to them.
I do not know the particulars of this engagement. I was not involved, but as I understand it, there was some disagreement about... Well, I believe someone was offended about something or other, and then it began to escalate, sharing information, fighting over resources. Feelings were hurt, and it began a number of attacks and killings going either way. Our people, you must understand, are rather inclined towards things such as blood feuds.
Mine
So what
are
you're
not easily driven from their grudges as well. A dynamic bunch we must make.
Indeed.
But I'm sorry, Harkin.
Oh, sorry. No, I had coughed. You're good.
Oh, okay.
If your hope is to dissuade them, I won't say it is impossible, but you will have your work cut out for you.
Is there anything you can tell us that will help us lead to a more peaceful solution? Like who they are following? Is there a standout among the crew?
I do believe they are following the leadership of one Heimlin, who is in charge. It was his brother that was first killed in their spats. You might be able to dissuade them with threats of being completely cut off from Voltsnu. I do not know if that will be successful, but they are rather still reliant on us. Any other options would be some assurance that you might be able to get the people of the Delmoin to extend an apology, and though that seems unlikely.
And they surely would want an apology as well.
I can only guess so.
And how likely do you think the group is to apologize on either side?
Going to be tough.
I cannot envision either side doing such a thing.
Mm.
Perhaps your comrade here, he says, nodding towards Salarn, would be able to give better insights for the Delmoin. What I know is that they are equally with resolve to match our own.
If only the two groups could see how alike they are.
It will be difficult to give them that assumption, but mutually assured survival is usually a best cause. We will see what we can broker.
I will say I am grateful for your desire to bridge this bond. I know there are many who would be perfectly content to see our people just continue this spat being cut off. It is heartening to see some show some care for my kind and kin.
Well, we gotta try everything before resorting to violence. Feel like there might be a scuffle here and there with this issue, but perhaps we can maintain a 0 deaths. At least
We all
on
have-
our part.
Yes. We all have a place in this world. Whether people can see
per-
it at the time is difficult. but
Perhaps-
yes.
I could express my gratitude more formally. My people have few enough allies amongst others within Voltsnu. And he goes fishing around and he pulls out a screw-in pommel that seems to be made of the refined polished ore that you've brought in before.
Oh, nice.
It's not as effective, but you may affix this to a weapon or tool of your choice, and you should find it rather enhanced for a time.
If anything, it will show that we at least have some of the support of the artisans in this town, and we appreciate that.
Indeed, yes, that's actually a good thought.
I appreciate your time, Master Dwarf.
Hmm.
What is your cousin's
you-
name?
Bergman, if you have the opportunity, do reach out to him and let him know that we spoke. Perhaps that will lend a little bit of credence. He is not high-ranking amongst the group last I heard, but any ally within might be able to lend you some insights.
Be at least a foot in the thatch, as they say.
Is that
And
an
the other-
expression?
Yes, you know, the thatch you use to cover your own doorways. Or your entrances.
Isn't a foot in your roof a bad thing?
We use it for doors, too.
Well, very well. Yes, do reach out to him if you can.
And do you know when the caravan receiving supplies will arrive here in Voltsnew?
Oh, we are sending supplies. If I'm not mistaken, it's going in a couple of days, but we could move that up if that would help.
Do what you think is best. We wouldn't want to put anyone out by securing stuff more quickly.
No. Let me speak to a few people. I think we can get it sent out first thing in the morning. If it can help keep the peace, I think all of us here in this side of Voltsnew would be happy to do what we could to help.
And of the dwarves that are here in the city that you know, how do they feel about this current conflict?
People are well enough treated by the humans within Voltsnew, but there's a degree of alienation that we can feel sometimes. At the worst of times, it can be quite boorish and difficult to accept. I think there are many here who feel sympathy from a sense of being not protected enough by Voltsnew. Even if they don't share the feeling, I think there are many here who could sympathize.
I understand that. Perhaps that can change sometime soon. You guys and ladies do a lot of great work for the town and deserve recognition for that.
Would that others shared that sentiment?
We'll do our best, but yes, if the caravan can be ready by morning, food received before the need is definitely appreciated more.
Harkin, I put the musket in your inventory.
I see it.
It deals 2d12 damage. However, it misfires on a 1, 2, or a 3.
Oh,
There is a set of tools that come with it. If it misfires, it jams, and you have to use an action to attempt to unjam it.
And
It's
that's-
a DC 11 check. If you fail, you will need to take it into a workman to fix, as you've basically,
like permanently stuck it.
ruined the barrel.
Okay. That
So
is,
it'll be recoverable, but it's not something that you can do on the go anymore or as an action.
okay. Seems
As
reasonable.
you get practice with it, you can start adding your proficiency to the tools to fix it. And eventually you will be able to attempt to unjam it as a bonus action.
Oh, that would be nice.
So it starts really rough, and then it gets better.
Okay. As you get a feel for it, given it's
Yeah.
such a foreign weapon.
Foreign weapon, foreign tools, foreign fix. But I mean, the damage output is pretty sizable.
You just got a hit.
Yeah.
I just like how there is the weird like musket rules and whatnot,
Yeah.
which makes sense with gnomes because it seems like something they would do.
They all smart and stuff. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, it comes with sound effects for a gunshot.
Hooray.
Yeah, it fires and a siren plays.
And let's just say critting with that is very nice.
Right between the eyes, Harkin. Right between the eyes.
Right in the dick, buddy. Right in the dick.
Yep.
If you if you crit, that's 2d12 plus 24 damage.
Oh God. That should be enough to kill someone.
Yes. And you have
This thing's
6.
dangerous.
It's really dangerous. It just might be dangerous to you also. It also comes with 6 rounds of bullets that are made of green steel.
Okay.
And that is Beatorian green steel. So it will overcome magical resistance and deal more damage to fiends.
Okay. How many was those like the special rounds that you gave me?
Yeah, those are the special rounds.
And then I assume
You
the normal
have
ones are like just steel or
iron. You
Iron.
have 40 regular shots.
well, that's good at least.
Loaded you up.
Yeah, they did. They're like, oh, you were oppressed? Here, have this. It's called a gun.
Yeah, may you never be oppressed again. Their personality is just the plot of Killmonger in Black Panther.
Although it does show that if there was a conflict between Volt Snu and the gnomes, it would be an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, that could go badly.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, here, have this. And I imagine this is just a bog standard musket.
I mean, it was the thing the one dude was carrying, so it's at least
Probably good quality.
Yeah.
But you do almost start to wonder if this was even to be helpful or just to like make it clear the kind of power that they have so that no one thinks to challenge them.
Yeah.
It's like if they're giving this out for free, what do they have?
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll hang around to the caravan in the morning.
You bet your sweet ass we will.
It's a
That's
pretty
gonna be
good
my
diplomatic
thing to make
in.
for.
Yeah.
Come with the vital supplies and be like, hey, you want to keep having these?
Yeah. I mean, pretty good leverage coming in.
We can make it so you never have these again.
Oh, we can murder you all. Ha ha.
Waiting for the next morning, you can see that there's a caravan of 5 wagons waiting in the plaza, each with dwarves manning them, and one young dwarf, equivalent to a boy of maybe 20 or 21 years old, is looking over and saying, "You the ones we were told to wait for?"
Yes, indeed.
Well, come along.
Off we go.
Is it just you, or are there any more?
I mean, me too.
Well, I just assumed that. I was just seeing if we were waiting on anyone else.
No,
nope,
just our
just
our
us
group.
6.
They never show up on Fridays anyway. Fuck them. They can figure it out.
Good lord, I thought it was Saturday.
Yeah, in some places.
All right, well, I'm on board. With the wagons, it'll be a little under a day.
Who knows some good songs? Hawken.
All the dwarves immediately begin singing.
Hooray!
Quite a deep rumbling voice to all of them.
The
And as
sound
you s-
of silence.
Ooh, dwarves would be good singers for that song.
Yeah.
I bet they'd have a nice deep baritone to that.
Do layers.
Elvis Costello would be jealous. But as you set off towards the dwarven encampment, I think we'll pause there and let Sykes join next week for that.
Hooray.
Yay.
We're gonna burn this fucker to the ground.
Just
Yeah.
don't even
Dwarf
bother
murder.
talking.
Yay.
Just kill.
Dwarf murder.
It's like, well, Nada was cool with it, so let's not waste time with these narrow-minded dwarves.
So sorry you weren't here last week to get context to this murder.
We got shit to do. We gotta collect ore. This much stacks paper.
This one shoots ore.
All right.
We'll see.
Good.
Yeah.
Good game.
You two good for tomorrow?
I should be. Oh fuck! Wait. Here's the deal with tomorrow. I'm gonna show up at 9, but then I've got to run and pick up Purple Worm from her aunt's house, and it takes me like 15 minutes there and back. So
That's not the worst at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It'll be like the smoke break. I said
Okay.
I'd be there around 10, so I'll probably be there for the first 45 minutes, and then I'll cut out and then come back.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. See you.
I have to try to find a way to top the Mad Max episode.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that, buddy.
Like now instead of Mad Max, it is Mad Matthew and Sad Samantha.
Oh.
Ew.
I hit somebody with a car in Dungeons and Dragons. Beat that.
You didn't just hit somebody with a car, you hit a ramp, flew into the air, and hit a 30-foot tall minotaur in the face with the car.
Man, I had to show
Yeah.
them Duke boys were up to no good.
That was kind of a ridiculous move, and I was really stoked about it.
It worked out great.
Wild card.
I would say, if we hadn't helped with the negotiation, would it have just been you talking to yourself?
Between the gnome and Nada? Yes.
Yeah.
If you weren't going to help with it, I was just going to cutscene it, and you guys wouldn't even know the outcome, because you're like, well, if you're not participating, they tell you to leave.
Yeah.
And then somebody comes back later and says,
something.
yeah. And then somebody would just come later and say, so this is what happened from the negotiations that you weren't privy to.